Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a first impressions review and demo on the brand new NYX Total Control Drop Foundation. I've heard so much about this. There has been so much buzz going on about it, so I had to check it out myself. Give this video a thumbs up if you guys love foundation first impressions, and I can totally continue doing them for you guys. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel right down below. It'll be the first link in the description box before you guys leave so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. I think that's all I have to say, so let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty you guys, so we're gonna jump in and test out this foundation today. I have absolutely nothing on my face besides my moisturizer. I am gonna prime my skin. I'm just gonna use the Estee Edit Pore Vanishing Stick today. I feel like this is a good primer to use with first impressions because I do always use primers regardless if I'm ever gonna wear like foundation, especially if I'm gonna be doing my foundation full out. But this doesn't really help to make the makeup last any longer. It just kind of makes my skin underneath look better. So I feel like it's not gonna give me like a false representation of how long this makeup might last on my face, if that makes sense. So before we actually apply, I'll give you guys a little background on this product. I paid $13.99 for it at Ulta. Ulta always has coupons and stuff, so you can definitely get it for cheaper than that, but that is how much I paid because I didn't have any coupons when I went. As far as the packaging goes, I actually really like it. It's a dropper packaging. I have a foundation from Becca that's like this, and I really enjoy the dropper. It makes it really easy to just kind of drop it on your face and you don't have to get your hands all dirty. I personally prefer pumps. That's my favorite, but I do prefer this like second best after pumps. So I do like the packaging. As far as color range go, I have it in the color 08 True Beige. Now I talked about this in my haul when I showed you guys that I got it. This was actually the second darkest shade at my Ulta. There's only one shade that was darker. So I thought that was really crazy, and I didn't really like that because I'm like, if I'm gonna talk about a product on my channel, I want everyone to be able to have access to it and to be able to find a color that matches them. And if I'm the second darkest shade, there are so many other people that are gonna have a darker skin tone that aren't gonna be able to try out this foundation. But when I did a little more research, and you guys helped me as well, there are more shades offered online currently at Ulta. There are 24 different shades. But a lot of people were telling me that in store, there's only very, very select shades, like the thing that I had at my Ulta where I believe they only had 6 shades, tops 8, but I think it was only 6. So if you're interested in this foundation, it might be better if you actually just order it online rather than going to an Ulta because they might not have a ton of shades there, because mine certainly did not. But regardless, we're gonna go ahead and try it out, see if this shade matches me. I honestly have no idea. And we're just gonna go in, and I'm gonna use a beauty blender to blend it out because that's what I always use for my foundations. So let's go ahead and get some and drop it. Oh boy, okay. Wow, that's really liquidy. I was gonna put it all over my face, but it would have dropped all over my sweatshirt. So I'm gonna blend that out and then drop it to my other side. Oh my God, that was so liquidy. That was moving so fast. Okay, so I mean, with just one drop, obviously I'm just keeping it on this side. It does give pretty good coverage. I would say that it's more like, it's definitely not full, but it's like medium with the one drop, which I was actually expecting it to be less, because the whole thing about this foundation is that it's supposed to be very buildable. That's why it's called Total Control. So you could just do one drop, I guess, for your entire face and do like a super light coverage, or you could do like drops on every section of your face and make it really full coverage. Like, you're supposed to have total control of how you want it to look. It is supposed to have matte finish, which it definitely does. There's really no dewiness to this at all. It is very matte on my skin, you know, immediately upon application. The shade looks a little bit yellow, but it's not too bad. Let's do the other side. Oh my goodness. Not sure that I love how liquidy it is. I feel like it might actually be better if I apply it to a beauty blender and then put it on my face. I just typically don't like to do that because then I feel like I'm wasting so much product because the beauty blender is kind of sucking it up. But with this one, it might be better to do it that way. So I'm gonna put some right on top of my beauty blender and then apply it like that. Yeah, that's easier. You don't have to worry about it like dripping all over your clothes if you do it that way. I feel like it actually does give a pretty good coverage. I basically used a drop for each section of my face, like this side, and my forehead. It's definitely still medium coverage. I wouldn't call it full, but I do think that I could definitely build this up, which we're gonna do today, because I really only like full coverage. I'm not in the mood for medium today. Like, if you guys can see, I have like rosacea in my skin and redness, and it's still like definitely like visible. My lights like wash out a lot of stuff, but I mean, I can see it in the mirror in front of me. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more on the center of my face just to give me some more coverage. It definitely does feel a little bit drying on my skin. That is because it does have a matte finish and my skin is already dry to begin with. But I feel like if you have oily skin, you would probably really like it because it does feel like immediately very matte on the skin. It doesn't really have any shine to it at all. So if you like matte finishes, you probably will like this foundation. So I can definitely already see in the side of my face that it definitely built up, I think, to be more full coverage. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on like the sides of my face. So it definitely is buildable. That I can tell for sure. Like you can definitely see now, I would say it's definitely full coverage, but I also used a lot of it at this point. Now I'm on 5 drops, like full squeeze of the droppers. So that's a lot. I'm gonna do one more drop to the other side. I didn't even actually do a full squeeze there, just to even everything out. So that's 6, 5.5-ish full drops. All right, so this is it all blended out. Overall, I do actually really like it so far. It certainly is full coverage once you build it up. It definitely is buildable, which I do like. That basically is the whole point of this foundation, is that it's supposed to give you control. And I really feel like it did do that, because when at first I just used a little bit, it was definitely more like medium, light to medium coverage. And then when I build it up, it definitely is like full coverage now, although it doesn't look like super cakey or anything, at least not yet. So I do like it. I don't like that I had to use so much of it to kind of get this full coverage, but again, that's kind of like the premise of the foundation. So yeah, I'm gonna wear it throughout the day and see how it goes. It's currently 11:24 a.m. So I will check back in with you guys sometime tonight before I go to bed and give you guys my final thoughts on it. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Alrighty guys, so I am back with my final check-in. It's pretty late. It is 12:10 a.m. the next day. And I'm about to go to bed and take my makeup off, but I wanted to tell you guys my final thoughts on this new NYX Total Control foundation. Overall, I actually really like this stuff. And when I first applied it, I wasn't so sure that I was gonna be saying that when I talked to you guys, because I really like the finish and how it lasted on my skin. I feel like it looks beautiful now. It looks pretty much the same as when I applied it, which was quite some time ago. So it really lasted on my skin for a really long time. My biggest concern was that I did have to use a lot of it to really get the full coverage, flawless look that I like. But that's like what this foundation is supposed to be. It's supposed to be able to give you the control to get this full coverage, flawless look that I have to my skin right now, but also to have a nice light to medium coverage foundation with just one coat. So I didn't really want to like nix it on that, although I personally didn't love that I had to use so much, but when I did use so much, it did build to a really beautiful foundation, so I absolutely have to give it that. If you're the kind of person that's gonna want a full coverage, flawless foundation every single day, I think there are other foundations from the drugstore that you can go get that are gonna give you that with using less product. Because if you wanna do full coverage, flawless every day, I think you're gonna go through this pretty quickly. This is 0.43 fluid ounces, which is less than half of what a regular foundation is. So it's a lot less product than a regular foundation, which I actually didn't realize until right now. So if you build it up how I did, I do think you're gonna go through this rather fast. So I would say pick another foundation from the drugstore that is supposed to be full coverage, that's what it always is. But if you're the kind of person that kind of switches up your foundation, but you don't want to have multiple foundations, but you like to switch up how your foundation looks, like some days do a light to medium coverage and then other days you like a full coverage, flawless finish, this would be a really great foundation for you to try. So overall, I do actually really like it. I'm not going to be returning this. I'm certainly going to be using it. I can keep you guys updated and let you know how long it takes me to actually go through the bottle, because I definitely can probably guarantee that I am going to go through this faster than I would a regular foundation, because I do have to use more to get the finish that I like. Although I definitely can see myself using this just on days where I'm just running to the gym or out to do errands and I just want a light coverage. I can just throw a few dots on my face and go. So I can see myself using it for that as well. So it is really great if you kind of have like different days where you want to wear your makeup differently, if that makes sense. So overall, I think NYX did a really good job. This is actually my first NYX foundation that I really liked. I've tried other foundations from them in the past, but never really been like wowed from them. But I actually think they did a really great job at this. I do really like it, and I do think that it is worth the $13.99 that they sell it for at Ulta. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this first impressions. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel down below before you leave so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye.